thus triggering a potential short squeeze, which could push price significantly higher quickly. So keep your eyes peeled for that also. Now, ETH Mainnet. Now, this used to be the playground just of the whales because gas was so ridiculously expensive that you just couldn't operate on mainnet unless you were deploying, at least 10, 20, 30, 50,000 per position. But with gas much, much, much lower recently, take a look at this chart. So even with network activity on ETH mainnet remaining fairly constant, gas has been consistently moving lower. And today, just today, gas is sitting at 6 Gwei, which isn't necessarily cheap, but definitely not expensive. Notice this, however. Earlier today, as Ethereum was moving lower and network activity picked up a little bit, gas spiked higher. So if you're going to operate on ETH mainnet, just keep in mind that it's probably best to wait for gas to be cheaper so that it's less expensive to operate on mainnet. But what this means for us is there is this whole new world of amazing opportunities that have been opened up to us because of the reduction in gas on mainnet. And that's important because, volumes on mainnet are much more consistently elevated. And for our favorite asset pairs, the pools are much deeper, meaning they have multiple millions of dollars of TVL most of the time, compared to the pools of liquidity on the layer twos, which tend to be much, much smaller. So with all of the gas on mainnet being reduced, a lot of opportunity is opening up to us on ETH mainnet, where you don't have to deploy 10 or 20 or 50K into a position anymore. You could potentially, with gas cheaper, get into a position on mainnet with significantly less capital. So just keep that in mind. As long as gas remains cheaper on mainnet, then there may be many, many more opportunities opening up to us. So with that, Colin, you want to take it away for the top 3 pools that we're highlighting for next week?
Yeah, definitely, David. And I just want to highlight one thing too, and I think you mentioned it ever so briefly right there, is that ETH mainnet has a variety of assets that we don't necessarily get exposure to on the layer twos or other chains. And so I think that's a great highlighted point that you've made here, is that there's like I just said, there's a lot of different assets that I wish, I'm like, oh, I really want some exposure to these assets in my DeFi portfolio. But you're right, with the gas fees being as they were, I'm like, what, it doesn't make sense for me to pay the business expenses to operate on Ethereum mainnet at this time. But this does open up an opportunity to get exposure to a lot of those assets you highlighted above, Tau being one of them. Anyways, yeah, I just wanted to reiterate that, because it's very exciting what you've highlighted here, and I hope people kind of grasp that, especially those who want exposure to some of those, more specific, those AI assets that are on Ethereum mainnet. So anyways, David, yeah. Oh yeah, and I can't wait to get down to the bottom of the report to show you a little bit about the AIOZ. And how'd you pronounce that, David? Because
I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like Pith Network. Is it Pith?
Yeah, I know,
is
right?
It Pith? Is it IOs? Is it